So this hero has been under the radar for a decent bit. Maybe not to you, but for the most part, most people, from what I've seen. I haven't heard anyone talk about him like crazy or say much. There was a time in like, what was it, season 1 or something, where people were talking about him and they're like, oh yeah, he's crazy, he's too broken, and they were starting to ban him because he was just too safe and everything. And it's Bucky. All right. So what they did when that happened is they made it so his hook was longer cooldown. They just made it so it was because his problem was just hooking so often. So they like reduced his. Actually, I'll just read them out. They increased the bonus health provided by Bionic Hook and Tainted Voltage from 30 to 40. So they did buff that. And then they increased the projectile damage, which was like, what? And then they reduced the area damage from 70 to 65. And I was like, okay, damage decay, blah, blah, blah. Basically, they just did a couple different stuff to his long range survivability, right? And they increased his base health up. So they actually semi-buffed him when he was like crazy. And that was in like season 1, right? And then he got some more changes later on. And these ones are the ones I'm talking about. And that was in season 2, where they said they're lowering his threat level against vanguards and reducing the margin for error in his ultimate ability, where they increased the cooldown time for his Bionic Hook from 8 to 12 seconds, and you could really feel that. And now it's 12 seconds. It's way better. It's way less broken. You have to really like time it well, and you really feel those seconds. And then they reduced the base damage of his ultimate ability, but then gave it like it wasn't really a nerf, because then they gave they lowered the coin threshold from 20% to maximum health to 15%. Basically that whole part right there wasn't that crazy. It's like, okay, just smaller change there. But the main thing was his like hook, right? That was the main thing. But then for some reason, they just decided, you know what, we're gonna, by the way, if you look at these, what they've been doing to him, they haven't like outright nerfed him. They've buffed him in small ways, give him damage here, took damage away here, just small little things. But overall, he's in a good place, especially in the current meta, right? He's in a very, very good place. And almost every patch, they're just like touching him up or something, doing something small here and there. Sometimes it's nothing crazy, sometimes it is. And in the recent patch, they actually touched him again. Right? They touched him again. And what they did is, remember how they reduced his long range potential? They basically pretty much reverted that and made him stronger from a long range for some reason. They're like, oh, he's good. He's too horrible from long range. So they reduced his damage fall off at 40 meters. Now, you could say that's not that crazy, but still, it means that when he's sniping down along the way, which he's already doing crazy damage up close, but when he's sniping down the way, he's going to do even more damage. They reduced the damage fall off maximum at 40 meters from 60% to 70%. So basically you could say that's 10% more damage. And it's like, well, that's good, right? And then he has a team up with Captain America, who people still play a lot of Captain America. But again, Captain America's not that crazy though. But still, people, when they do play Captain America, you can literally have another movement ability by being able to jump to him or jump to any nearby ally. And that's also really good. But the reason especially why he's really good in this season is a lot of people are clumped up together. That's also why Phoenix is really good in this season as well. But people are clumped together. They're playing like Squirrel Girl, where they're clumped together and they're just like sitting in the back shooting, or people are diving. There's not as many flyers, and even then he can deal with flyers. That's the thing. He's a very versatile character. He's one of the few in the game that's very versatile. He's along the lines of Magneto. He's along the lines of, you could even say the new character Phoenix. He's along the lines of Star-Lord. He's along the lines of like the Thing. These all-rounder characters that don't really have any crazy like counters. This is the way the Bucky is right now. He's in a place where he's super strong. And by the way, I even forgot to mention, they literally gave him another charge on his Tainted Voltage, right? This ability is probably one of his, if not his strongest ability, other than of course his hook. His hook is a little crazy, and his uppercut fist is kind of okay. It's good, but it has to be used in tandem with other stuff. Of course, there's also a decent movement ability, and he will always suffer from low movement. But he doesn't really care because, like I said, people are clumping up. But even if he is separated, like this is important. Even if he is separated and people aren't clumping up, he's good against flyers. He has no issue. He has no issue versus flyers. He can knock them down, and that's what, like I said, his R1, or I don't know what it is on PC, but I'm just gonna say it by the name. Okay, Tainted Voltage is the name of the ability. All right, look at the names of the abilities. You can understand what I'm saying. Tainted Voltage is the one that it slows them and it knocks down flying enemies. So once you knock down a flying enemy, You don't have to like shoot up in the air or do some stupid stuff. Knock them down. They come right down to the ground, right where you can shoot them. You shoot them in the face and they're dead. That's what you do. So you don't care about flyers. You never did as Bucky. You also don't care about divers because, like I said, you might be split up a little bit, but you don't care about divers because you have easy access to, especially with an extra charge on your tainted voltage. You have so much access to extra bonus health already on top of your high base health of 275. So you're going to be using this stuff and you'll be consistently at over 300 health. And if you are going a little crazy, you might even be at like 400 health, right? Like you might even be like that for like a couple seconds or so, but you're going to be consistently almost at 400 health or just a little bit above 300 health at all times. And it's like he becomes like a semi tank at that point with high damage, and he just gets so much bonus health. Like if I would off the rip say like a change to him, I would say he needs less survivability on his abilities and then up the damage. Literally, if he's already on the damage route, do this: up the damage of, let's say, his tainted voltage, right? Up it by like 2, literally. I don't know, give it a small damage buff, maybe his uppercut or something. Maybe it reduces uppercut to like by like 1 second or 2 seconds, maybe to 10 seconds. It's not that crazy of an ability. Just to compensate, right? Give him a small buff like that, and then reduce the amount of bonus health he gets from his abilities, or make it so that his abilities need to hit the enemy for them to give him bonus health. That way his uppercut, on its lower cooldown, it being like a 10-second cooldown instead of a 12-second cooldown, it now is able to give him only health if it hits someone. So that means if he hits his hook, he will get health. It rewards him for actually doing what he needs to do instead of just throwing out stuff. And if he actually hits people with his, his tainted voltage, then he can, of course, get his health. Same with his uppercut ability, which if it's on a lower cooldown, now it's like, okay, you get to use it more, but you don't always get the health from it. So you're really just trying to either use it to get away, or you're going to use it on someone to be more aggressive. It makes you be more aggressive because guess what? You have a lower cooldown. You can only get health from actually hitting the enemies. And let's say you upgraded the damage, like I said, on his tainted voltage by like a couple points. Now he has more damage on his abilities, but he has less survivability because let's say you just reduce a little bit of the health you get from it, and you make it so you can only get health from actually hitting the enemy. But when you do hit them, you get, sure, less health, but you do more damage to them, because then we can actually go on the damage part because he's at DPS, right? So give him less survivability, more damage. That's my idea, because right now he's a little crazy and people don't even realize it. Like they're not even thinking about it. Like I will just lock him in. I've been locking him in. I haven't been locking him in as much as I want to, because I've honestly just been playing Phoenix because she just released. But this season in particular, because he's going to keep being under the radar and people are going to keep not banning him. They're not going to ban him because he's not like OP or something. And they're also not going to do anything crazy about like nerfing him, because to be honest, they don't really like to nerf Bucky. And if they do, it's going to be in like some really small way. He's just going to be very smart to play right now. If you're really like trying to rank up, trust me, he's probably one of the safest picks in the whole entire game. He has so much survivability. He can get out of situations if needed. The only issue that he has is when your team does not actually do anything. That's the only times that I will lose with him. I will lose with him if my team doesn't exist. For example, you don't have a tank, you have like one tank and he's like, I don't know, Hulk or something. It's like, well, now you don't have a front line. You are the front line and you just can't do enough. Or there's another situation. They have a lot of divers. And if they have one diver, like I said, he can deal with almost anything. Divers, he can deal with that. Remember, he can snipe because he has more damage from a range away. So he can deal with snipers. Those are going to be his biggest matchup though. His hardest matchup is going to be snipers. But even though he's good against divers, if divers are on him like crazy, it's like if there's like 2 dive tanks and then another diver, you can try to do all you can, but there's too many divers, and if they just keep killing your whole entire team, unless your whole team is on anti-dive duty, like they're all playing anti-dive, or you're playing an anti-dive comp versus a full dive comp, if you're the only anti-dive character, you're gonna have trouble because your whole team needs to actually support you. So like I said, if you have no heals, you might be able to survive a little bit, but you need a little bit of heals because you don't have much movement and you're like just a sitting target. But of course, that's what I mean. That's why I said that they should reduce his, honestly, just make the team up that he has, just make that an actual ability. It just fits so well in his kit. But really what I think they should do is make his uppercut, it's a movement ability, right? Make his uppercut be literally 10-second cooldown. It's a 12-second cooldown right now. Make it a 10-second cooldown, right? So make it so it's easier for him to get out of stuff, to move and stuff. Just make it that, it's not even that great of an ability. It's decent, but it's not that crazy, right? Just make it a 10-second cooldown. That's fine with me. That seems good to me. But yeah, that's my idea. But either way, like, you will definitely lose if you don't have a front line, or your healers just aren't healing you, or there's too many divers. There's so many reasons that you can lose. He's not an insta win, but he does make the game more safe. Especially if you learn some of his tech, you learn how to punch enemies into your team, which, you know, I've been learning as well. It's not as hard as you think. By the way, it's really not that hard. I mean, granted, there's many times where I will miss it. I'll try to do it and I'll miss, but you don't need to have high sense for it. You do need to have a high enough sense to turn around immediately, but you don't need to have like crazy high sense to actually hit the move off. The main thing is like the people, I might make a video about it if you want a video like specifically talking about how to do it, but basically you're just turning around and just like stepping to the right. But it's a little tricky. You need a little bit of practice. Let me know if you want me to go in depth on that, but either way, it's not that crazy. But the point is, he is very, 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 very strong, and he is going to continue to be strong, and no one's going to say anything about it. They're not going to ban him. Nothing's going to happen. They're just going to keep banning Black Panther, and then I'm going to pick Bucky into Black Panther, and he doesn't even need to, he doesn't care about Black Panther. Guess why? Because he has his tainted voltage, which slows enemies down. It slows them, I think it's for like 2 or 3 seconds, and he has such a wide range that you don't have to worry about anything. And he also has his uppercut that stops Black Panther if he tries to do anything. He has his grab that stops them. He has so much crowd control that he's not going to worry about Black Panther at all, bro. He's not going to worry about Black Panther at all. And all he needs to do is hit one good shot after he hits one of his abilities. He has to hit just one. Either hit him with a hook, hit him with an uppercut, or hit him with your tainted voltage. That's literally all you have to do, and that's 3 abilities. You just have to hit one of them, and you probably got BP just like that, bro. That, or you just die. You can just choose to die if you want to, but point is, I think this character is going to keep being slept on. But right now, if you want to capitalize, learn Bucky, learn how to play him. There's plenty of channels who are really good at teaching you how to play Bucky. I'm not like some like top tier Bucky player, but I do like to play him. I'm definitely gonna get him to Lord, play him a lot, you know, because he's really fun. But yeah, he's also really fun. Like I said, I did my video talking about who's the best gameplay. He's peak gameplay to me. He's top tier. He's very fun to play. So not only is he fun to play, he's very strong. like I said, his main attack just in general is so incredibly strong. It does so many damage. You can actually 2-tap squishies pretty much. Well, of course you need headshots, but you can pretty much 2-tap them. Maybe add in a couple abilities here and there, but like pretty much you can go crazy. You can 2-tap them at, of course, point blank range, but you're gonna be at point blank range at almost all times. If you ever do grab a squishy, trust they're dead. You just need to hit them a couple times. They're probably dead. You know, once or twice. There's so many times where I just hit them once and they happen to be like half health and now they're dead. He just does so much damage, and they could just they don't have to increase his main attack damage. Like I said, they could just increase his ability damage, but just make it so they have more damage, but less like general utility. And the fact that they keep giving him bonus health or something, just make him have more damage and less survivability. That means he ends up dying a little bit faster, but it means it makes it more fun to me because I can keep going crazy, going armed and dangerous, you know. It makes me go crazy. But either way, I don't think they should ever take away his bonus health, though. That's kind of, I do like the idea that he gets bonus health. He should just not get as much bonus health as he does, and he should not be getting it off of every single ability he uses. Like, that makes no sense, and he doesn't even have to hit them. He's so easy, bro. And like I said, he's one of the easiest characters to aim with. I don't know what it is, but I have probably the highest accuracy on him of any other character just because of how easy it is to aim with him. It's actually perfect. So yeah, play the character. He's not busted, but he's kind of busted. He's not broken, but he's kind of broken. The kid, he's kind of crazy, all right? But no one's gonna ban him. Don't even worry about it, bro. Literally nobody will ban him. There's way better bans to ban. They're gonna keep banning Wolverine and Black Panther. Black Panther especially. They will not stop banning that character. Trust. They'd rather ban a Spider-Man, bro. They are not worried about you. Just play him. You gonna go crazy, bro. I know you are. Let's go. Lock him in, bro. Lock him to Bucky. Lock in the Winter Soldier. Lock him in. But also, if you like this video, leave a like if you liked it. Dislike if you didn't. Comment down below what you think about this video. What did you think about Bucky? What do you think about Bucky? Do you like Bucky? Do you got Bucky to Lord? Are you a Bucky Lord that's trash or good? One of those two. Hopefully you're a good Bucky Lord. W Bucky players, you know what I mean? But what do you think about this video? Do you think that Bucky is as strong as I say? Do you think he's like an undercover hit? You know, an undervalued peak crazy character, like, or do you think he's just kind of mid? You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't agree with you, but hey, let me know. Other than that, go ahead and subscribe. We are getting very close to 500 subs, and the road is to 1,000. We're trying to get to 1,000. We uploading daily. We going crazy, bro. So with that in mind, you gonna want to subscribe for more daily news, lore, discussions, anything. We talk about all types of games. Rivals, Death Stranding, we've been talking about recently. We got Ghost of Yote we're talking about if you're interested in that. Possibly Borderlands, we'll have to see. Maybe even Expedition, we'll have to get on that game too, see how that goes. But yeah, we got any game you probably interested in, we probably gonna talk about it at some point. So hop on the channel. I'm sure there's something. Even if you don't like everything, I'm sure there's something you would like. So subscribe for WM content from your boy. Let's go. But go ahead and watch the video right now because I know you want to. It's a video you might like, maybe. So go ahead and check it out. YouTube thinks you're going to like it. So hopefully YouTube is right. Watch the video on the screen. I bet you it's amazing. I trust YouTube. Do you? Then click the video right now. Click it right now. Thank you.